My business partner and I were both out of the country for a few years, and her name is Victoria, she's not here, but she sort of had this idea originally of, while we're out there, how can we help our own families while we were, out of the country? Wouldn't it be great if, our aunt or our mom or our sister or anybody got, a bag of meal, for instance. So that's how the idea started. Fast forward, we've been on the ground here in Zambia for about 1.5 years now, and we currently deliver in Lusaka and Copperbelt, selected cities in Lusaka and Copperbelt. So I guess I'll talk about the heart of ShopZed. So we really are, I guess it's about people. We really are focused on how can we help our fellow families on the ground, because sometimes when you send money, it's never used for the intended purpose. When actually you do send money, it's conveniencing for the families here on the ground. They have to go, to Western Union or wherever get the cash, which becomes quite inconveniencing for them. So when we think about why the service started in the first place, it boils down to people. How can we help our families? And how can we do it in a convenient way for both our clients out there and our clients on the ground here? Through the website, as I mentioned, you can buy groceries and household goods. Yeah. And then on this end, on the ground, we pretty much source the items for you, and then we deliver. Right now, the payment gateway we use is PayPal. So people pay for it, debit or credit card. And then, so it's paid for before it's delivered. Another thing I should mention is when it's actually delivered, the client goes through the list of everything, whether it's 20 items or 100 items, just to make sure nothing is missing. That's part of the accountability, part of the trust you were talking about. How do we build trust on the ground? And we've noticed that that's very helpful, because also we get to know later on what, the mom says, actually, I don't like boom, I prefer omo. So now we note, okay, great, next time we'll put omo. Yeah.
All right, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Mawano Campbell, and I am the founder of Com Zambia. So I'm going to do a very similar question to my colleague over here, simply because I know at least one person is going to raise their hand. Who knows Com Zambia? Who's used Com Zambia? Okay, so 1 point to .com, So the way Com Zambia started was I was living in the US at the time, and I realized that every time I was traveling to Zambia, everyone would send me their shopping list. Oh, I just saw this on Amazon, bring it for me. I was watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians the other night, and I love her dress, bring it for me. And that was basically me showing up at the airport here. All my clothes for my trip would be in one hand luggage, and then I'd have 4 or 5 pieces of baggage with things for other people. And I think for anyone who knows Zambia, that whole concept of cross-border trading is pretty common. So for me, that was like, okay, how do I turn this into a business? I think there are a lot of requests coming in, and that was where Com Zambia actually started. And I think by 2009, there was enough of it going on for me to say, let me turn it into a business. So how do I define what Com Zambia is today? I actually call Com Zambia an IT company that specializes in e-commerce. And today we're actually divided into 2 divisions. Division 1 is what we call Import Zambia / .com Zambia. So if you want to shop off Amazon, off eBay, in the UK, in China, and in the US, you would go through our company to do that. And at a certain point, as we were going through that, what I said to myself is, you know what? I think this is the beginning of e-commerce. It's our definition of e-commerce, but this is how e-commerce is actually beginning. And very similar to, was indicating, we also said, okay, I think there's a trend here. what can we start to do? So we sort of started branching out as well. We started working with our local retailers. We do run a marketplace as well. It's not a big part of our business, but it is something that we are growing simply to fill that void as well. If someone in Lusaka wants to sell something to someone in Kitwe, in Solwezi, how can you help facilitate that? And I think speaking sort of from an industry, that business has some growing pains in it. And when I think about sort of even the path .com Zambia has started, when people ask me, what are some of the things that sort of, jump out at you? And I would actually say the process of customer acquisition and educating the customer on what e-commerce is takes up probably a lot more time than you would like if you were a pure e-commerce company. So that's one branch of what we do at .com Zambia. 2 years ago, we actually started another branch that we call Bus Tickets Zambia. And with me, when people sort of ask me, are you an IT guy? I kind of tell them, no, I'm actually not an IT guy. I'm just a guy who got frustrated at something, saw a problem, and out of that, an IT company grew. So we started working on a project called Bus Ticket Zambia about 2 years ago. It's something that we are now almost in the final phases of sort of the market-facing side of it. But this is basically allowing you to book your intercity bus ticket using a variety of methods. It's you being able to go online. It's being able to use your smartphone app. It's being able to go to an agent location and buy your bus ticket from there. And it's a project that I think we've been in the media quite a bit around. Quite a few awards have been thrown our way because of our work on bus ticketing. Anyone kind of know anything that jumps out? Only because I don't want to seem like I'm bragging when I kind of say, yeah, this is what we've won. So help me out here. Aliso, you should help me out on one. Yeah.
Harvard Best African Business.
Yes, Harvard University. Earlier in the year in February, named our project on bus ticketing Africa's best new venture for 2015. And not to be outdone by Harvard, Zictor as well. I think same event we were at with Bongohive for creating accessibility as well. Best company doing that. And that is really the bit of the background around .com Zambia. And today's a bit of a milestone day as well in terms of the company. Anyone who sort of saw my Facebook posting a little bit earlier would have noticed me signing some papers with a couple of individuals. Okay, so I'm sort of making that transition. So .com Zambia today actually completed its Series A today, and I think there's going to be a lot of other great things happening. So, for people to come in and say, you were e-commerce at the very beginning, and this is what it's coming. I'm very excited the work that Bongohive does. And everyone in this room to sort of see where it will go going forward. But it certainly has been a long road, a very frustrating road. There's challenges we've had to overcome. That's where it's getting a little bit weird, now. And this is the problem that I think any small company has. When we were very small, it was really about that one customer. When people sort of tell me who was your my first customer, it was actually Blockbuster Video, the Steers Debonair's group. They were the first .com client, Then you go to them and say, well, can you introduce me to someone else? And then, by word of mouth. And we began to grow that way. But then what tends to happen is as you grow a little bit bigger, you start running into capacity issues and scaling issues. And then you start to realize that the way you were set up, in 2010 is not the way, is not effective for it, to grow now. And then you have to think differently about how you interact. So, for instance, back in 2011, I knew every customer by name, Every one of them by face by now. Now there are over 1,000 of them. I can't possibly know every. So you have to think differently in terms of how you touch customers, how you retain them, and how you interact with them. And you get into sort of strategies around that. You start looking at CRM systems. So there is an evolution that happens when you sort of go through that transition from being small and growing larger.